The people in the desert were bad off. No food, no water, and only baby cries. They complained about their fate in life and wondered what they could do on this day. They asked the leader and woke him from bed, but this mistake he could not ever forgive. "We could really use a snack or a soda," said one of them in a voice so very small. "Oh yes," said the leader and got his box. Opening it, he placed it at their feet. Out of it climbed a serpent and a snake. Before one made the first bite, it told them, "You're really talking out of your ass." The king said, "Now we have a snake problem," and so he built a high wooden snake statue and told everyone to bow down to it and sing a little song about their newfound hunger. The snakes feasted on the prey by the pole. This was certainly the worst place in Mexico. The exterminator was fast asleep. People were banging on the big red door, but his ears were covered and his hat on. No heat on because he forgot to pay it, and the air and the fan were broken too. When he woke from his slumber, he told them, "You're really talking out of your ass." Ballard was a true man of the Wild West. He kept his six-shooter on his right hip and his long rifle placed on the left side. He never had to use them because of how he was respected but not so feared. No one felt the need to challenge him. One day some gold showed up at his doorstep. It had a note attached to its bag. It read, "This is from the very king himself. Work for me and we'll take the whole world. I need a man with a gun and some eyes." Ballard tore the note and said to himself, "You're really talking out of your ass." The king's mad at the exterminator, because when he got off of his fat ass, he rigged the place with such a poison that it killed not the snakes but the women that the king liked to keep in his harem. He shed tears unlike he ever had before. When his favorite swallowed the poison cake, he wept by her bed even as she choked on all the words that would have condemned him. See, the woman did in fact love the man, because who would respect her kidnapper? She was only able to say the words, "You really must be talking out your ass." Ballard was having a night on the town, breaking bottles over the heads of men whose politics were frankly out of line. All debates have to finish like this, when alchemy is the main philosophy. The exterminator tried to confront and shouted at Ballard about his teeth. The denture salesman's very nervous, and the bartender's become quite ill. They all looked at him in complete silence, wondering as to how Ballard would act. He turned and told the exterminator, "You really must be talking out your ass." The exterminator waved his forearms and asked the bartender, "Did you see that?" The bartender's bent over a bucket, since he'd had too much of his own supplies. The denture salesman's no help either, because he's addicted to laughing gas. Ballard pulled his gun out and fired wildly, and the exterminator could not duck. Nor can he cover as the place is shot up. His skull is pierced and fatally wounded. The bartender soiled all the evidence. The denture salesman was chuckling and said, "You really must be talking out your ass." When the king heard about all this, he smiled. "I've got to get this Ballard on my side," he said as he counted up his figures and sent all his messengers to the bar. Ballard again dismisses their presence, but the bartender said, "Look at all that gold." The dentured salesman salivating and tells Ballard that only gold is true. "Take advice, obey the king to be king." The bartender nods as if with agreement. The exterminator only twitches. "If you turn all this down, son, all I'll say, you really must be talking out of your ass." Ballard bought all the surviving around, didn't drink everything that was remaining, because the bartender started sleeping. The king's messengers needed an answer, and probed the drunk man to end his night soon. It's only 4:30 in the morning. And I needn't be at work until sunrise. I could stand to be just a little late. Life is not made to be a filled-out form. I cannot be wrong to want more than you. Ballard's placing his hands on their shoulders. This time the messengers were who told him, "You really must be talking out your ass." Ballard drunkenly stumbled to his ride, and he climbed in and couldn't get it started. He contemplated what he would purchase, with all the king's land and his gold. "When my conscience tries to best me," he mused, "I'll drown the thing in some laughing gas." He hit the ignition, nothing happened. The gears would not turn or try to sputter. He hit it as hard as he could 3 times, but the response was a silent nothing. He smacked it again and yelled in anger. His donkey turned to him and said to him, "You're really talking out of your ass."